Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we are talking about Palantir Technologies PLTR stock, Nano Dimension's NNDM stock, and Senseonics SENS stock. We will start by discussing why Palantir stock is falling in price, which gives us 3 reasons to buy some more PLTR stock and 1 reason to potentially sell it. Next, we will talk about why Nano Dimension stock is rising in price before 2 catalysts that are coming up, which could help the NNDM stock price even more. Then lastly, we will go over Senseonics' recent earnings report and why the SENS stock price has 3 approaching catalysts which could cause it to surge. Go and press the like button right now for more PLTR stock, NNDM stock, and SENS stock news updates. Comment down below your favorite stock out of those 3 choices. Turn on all subscription notifications to stay informed, and now let's get right into today's stories. Palantir's PLTR stock has had a rough couple of trading days because it fell 9% after its earnings report, and then it fell another 7% after that, just to then rally around 2% today, which is a positive sign. Now, we do not know where the bottom for the PLTR stock price is if the stock decides to keep falling, because negative momentum was added to the stock price after multiple analysts downgraded the stock's price target, but luckily Cathie Wood of ARK Invest, who is a consistent buyer of PLTR shares, has been buying up more on this dip on a multitude of occasions. For instance, Cathie Wood recently made a purchase of $36 million to buy more PLTR shares, and she also made another purchase worth $28 million the very next day. Now, one of the 3 reasons for why Cathie Wood and other investors are snapping up PLTR shares while the stock is cheap right now is due to their commercial revenue growth. Out of Palantir's $392 million that they brought in for the quarter, 44% of that was through commercial revenue. In the 3rd quarter, their commercial revenue growth actually outpaced their government business growth, and if this trend continues, which I think it will, Palantir will be a force to be reckoned with among both government contractors as well as commercial businesses. We can clearly see this by looking at the table at the bottom of this slide, which tells us Palantir's year-over-year revenue growth for their government as well as their commercial business. The second reason why investors are buying Palantir is because of their impressive adjusted gross margin and their adjusted operating margin. But with that being said, I want to clarify that Palantir is still an unprofitable company from a GAAP perspective, because the company had a net loss of $102.1 million, which met expectations, but as these margins grow, profitability for the company could be within reach. The third reason to potentially buy Palantir is that they have a great management team behind them and they have a strong investor presence. However, a reason to potentially sell the stock is that its valuation is really high, and because of this, it trades at 30 times this year's sales. But I want to qualify that statement by saying that to me, its strengths outweigh its weaknesses, and when we compare Palantir to other stocks like it, such as Cloudflare, which trades at 100 times sales, or CrowdStrike, which trades at 50 times sales, or even a stock like Snowflake, Palantir is actually more fairly valued than all of them. Now let's talk about Nano Dimension and their NNDM stock, which, as you know, one analyst is covering this stock and they have a $10 price target, and they also say that this stock is a buy right now. However, we should not take our guidance from a single analyst, but Nano Dimension does have 2 approaching catalysts coming up soon, which could cause the NNDM stock price to rally. But first, let's talk about the stock's relative strength index, also known as the RSI. We can determine if a stock is a good buying opportunity when it's oversold, or if the stock is priced too highly, such as when the stock is overbought, which can be indicated to us through the RSI. For example, if the RSI is over 70, the stock is overbought, and if it's under 30, the stock is oversold. But if the stock is around 50, the stock is just neutral. And in Nano Dimension's case, the stock is trading at around 51.3, so this gives us a neutral rating for the stock. However, short-term indicators say that the stock is actually a 50% sell, and even medium-term indicators echo that, and they also say that this stock is a 50% sell. When we look over to longer-term indicators, we see that it's a 100% sell, which is exactly against what we just heard from the analyst, who has a $10 price prediction for this stock. So many people are very bearish on the stock, including the likes of Jim Cramer, who says this about Nano Dimension, and I quote, On CNBC's Mad Money Lightning Round, Jim Cramer said he doesn't like the 3D printing business, calling it a faddish business. He said he doesn't have that much hope left for Nano Dimension. End quote. So we can see that multiple people are bearish on this stock. However, there is still hope because Cathie Wood seems to love the stock, as well as 3D Systems, X1, and Velo 3D. But now let's talk about more of the bullish news for Nano Dimension. So on the bright side, Nano Dimension will be holding an exhibition at Formnext, and that's going to be from November 16th through the 19th. This will be a gigantic event in which over 500 3D printing companies will be in attendance, but the main draw for us as Nano Dimension's investors will be from Nano Dimension's subsidiary named Fabrica Group, which will be showing their Microfabrica 2.0 additive manufacturing technology and printer. On top of that, Nano Dimension will be showing their Dragonfly 4 and Flight technology at a Productronica show, which will also take place from November 16th through the 19th. So we're going to have to wait and see how these catalysts affect the NNDM stock price, if at all. Now let's talk about Senseonics SENS stock. As you probably know, Senseonics is a medical technology company that focuses on creating long-term glucose monitoring systems for people with diabetes, and they recently had an earnings report on the same day that Palantir had theirs. The best part about the earnings report is that Senseonics generated around $3.5 million worth of revenue, and we also have to remember that they still have an active FDA approval under review for their 180-day system, but don't take my word for it. Let's see what the CEO of Senseonics has to say about the potential FDA approval and their earnings report. So I quote, "In the third quarter, we remained laser focused on advancing the most innovative pipeline in CGM, while Essentia progressed initiatives to drive Eversense patient adoption. We are encouraged by the excitement demonstrated by patients and HCPs for the 180-day sensor in the US, and we are pleased with the progression of the review and are hopeful the FDA will reach an approval decision in the coming months based on the positive PROMISE study results. We look forward to launching the new system shortly after approval." End quote. Senseonics management originally predicted that the FDA approval will be in December. However, now they're saying that it could be in the next few months. However, with that being said, it could still be in December, but I personally doubt it right now, and I think it might be in the first quarter of 2022. More good news is that Senseonics' third quarter gross loss declined by $2.1 million year over year, only to $1.2 million. Senseonics also got to lower their sales and marketing expenses, which decreased around $700,000 year over year down to $2.5 million, which is pretty good. As expected, the company did increase their research and development efforts so they can continue making great technology and CGMs, so naturally their expenses for R&D rose to $7.2 million, which represents a $2.6 million increase from last year. Lastly, their general and administrative expenses have decreased by around $400,000 year over year, down to only $5.12 million. So overall, this was a great earnings report because not only did they crush revenue expectations, but they also decreased a lot of unnecessary expenses. Also, Senseonics has two catalysts coming up, and they are the Stifle 2021 Virtual Healthcare Conference, which is going to be on November 16th, and we have the Jefferies London Healthcare Conference, which will be on November 18th. For the Stifle conference, the management of Senseonics will engage in a fireside chat, while the Jefferies conference management will actually make a whole presentation, so look out for those. It's also good to see how the SENS stock is holding up compared to the market and their peers. So right now, Senseonics SENS stock has an overall rating of 60, which means that the SENS stock holds better value than 60% of the entire stock market. This news gets even better when we look specifically at their industry, which is the diagnostics and research industry, where Senseonics holds better value than 88% of all other stocks in that industry, which is absolutely fantastic news. The stock currently costs around $3.70, but it has been trading between $3.60 and $3.91 due to the volume. However, speaking of the volume has decreased for the stock almost in half because recently around 3.8 million trades were initiated and the average for the stock is around 6.7. But what do you all think? Comment your thoughts down below about Palantir, Nano Dimension, and Senseonics. Like this video right now if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new, and I really want to hit 100,000 subscribers so I can get that silver play button, and I will see you in the next YT video.